Hey, welcome back to another RSG Lunch Stream. I'm Ranger J 1999, your host and part of the RSG crew. Glad to have you guys all aboard. If you're wondering what is this is our lunch stream, which is where we hang out with you good folks for the next hour or so, bring you some quality entertainment. We'll answer your questions. We'll do some roster reviews. Mad chaos will ensue. And if you're wondering how can you get your questions answered, all you need to do is put them in chat. Make sure you put question in front of your statement, and we will scoop those up and get those read and try to get through pretty much all the questions that we can. I brought some people on to help me along with this, so let's introduce everybody. Of course, we've got from across the pond who is making turn signals and making noise when we're trying to start the stream because he's a filthy, limey bastard, and that is Mike Hunt.
Good evening. Sorry.
You just don't care about professionalism.
No, you see, I thought I was actually going to... Not most of the time, I get here just beforehand. And people that just don't care about YouTube have been slowing my journey today. That's awful. But there you go.
All right. Also joining us... Yeah. Also joining us, of course, is the one and only Grim the Mechanic.
How's it going, guys?
And it looks like we've got... If I'm not mistaken, the big deal himself, Grande Pappy Patron, is here. I'm about to say, what the hell?
Oh, mon ami. We are here for the lunchtime stream. I do nothing to make this happen, but I will take all the credit.
He actually showed up for 2 Dark Lords roster reviews. Amazing.
The world is ending as we know it. All right. So, as I said, get your questions in. We are going to do a roster review. We got a couple of them to do. We're trying to knock out as many as we can. If you haven't already, stop what you're doing. Give us a thumbs up on the video. It helps us get our content out there to the YouTube world. And if you haven't already, maybe become a subscriber. Really would appreciate it if you would. And also check out our Patreon if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter. Again, we use all our proceeds to make the streams better and brighter for you guys for your viewing pleasure. And last but not least, we have our ACS campaign going on. We're trying to raise money for the American Cancer Society, so we will get to more of that at the end of the stream. Are you guys ready for a roster review of Dark Lords?
Oh, it's a Dark Lords roster review.
Yeah. Oh, look, Finity snuck in. You thought you were going to be all sneaky and just get in here, Finn, but I see you. You better say something. But he's in a meeting. He can't say anything. Let's make fun for Finn for a minute or two since he can't respond. What can we say about Finn? Yeah, he's still in a meeting, so he can't respond. So, Grande, if you had to say something horrible about Finn, what would it be? Let's make fun of Finn. We all love him. We all think he's great, but let's trash his character.
I was gonna say something horrible about Finity. His eyes are too far apart.
They really are. My God.
Well, if you look closely, one ear is lower than the other.
It's true. I mean, he is a mutant. Has
he got Family Guy Uma Thurman eyes?
You're onto something there, Mike. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Pauses to push them back into place.
Yeah.
Because they go.
I mean, I'm getting a sense of Quasimodo here when we're talking about Finn. So just throwing that out there.
That's all the Porgs on his back, though, isn't it?
And he can't see
I'm thinking more Sloth from the Goonies.
Okay, Sloth. I'm seeing Sloth. Okay.
Hey, you guys.
There you go. That'll work. I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. I know we're kidding. We love Finn, but we're just having some fun with him because he can't respond. That's beautiful. I'll teach you to be in a meeting when we're doing a damn stream, Finn. Having responsibilities and work. Stupid Finn. All right. So we're doing Darth Vader 1's profile, and they're in 1,001 Ways to Cook a Pork. I love this.
That's a Dark Lords guild.
I know. I love the name too. And let's see what they are looking for.
Oh, swgoh's doing it again.
What?
Not loading tune profile pics.
Well,
damn it, Finn.
Finn strikes again. Let's look here. It says, what do they want? It says, I just want a general review. Brief on mods is I'm still learning how to assign the best mods via raids, arena, and grand arena, and how to really just be better in ships overall. All right, let's just do a general overall review. I can't see the character, so I have to actually look at it. So we're running Emperor Palpatine, Vader, Shore Trooper, Thrawn, and Bastila Fallen. Not a bad team, but he is struggling. What is he talking about? Finn's like typing stuff. Someone found out what the hell Finn's typing. It's
Where's he typing at?
In Zoom. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Damn it, Grande, isn't it your week to watch him? Swear to God. So
Maybe he used the game ally code to search, and he gives the ally code.
Search
511247.
Oh, I've got that in the GG page. Oh, he wants us to use that. Oh, maybe that'll be better for us.
He's saying if GG is down.
Okay. Oh, I see what he's saying.
GG's acting screwy, then use in game.
Let me see if I can.
I found out his problem. Probably why he's having a really hard time in arena is definitely mods. It's definitely a mod issue.
All right, I'm pulling it up here. All right, so, let me let me pull up. Right, let's go here and go back in here and look at his arena. So looking at his arena, yeah, he's using Palpatine, Shore, Bastila Fallen, Thrawn, and Vader. You're saying that there's a mod issue.
Yeah, like he's got 119, and then the rest are like 16s and 15s.
Let's look in his inventory. Let's no, there's some good pieces here, so let's kind of start going through his roster here. Let's see, we got.
But let me rephrase that: 116, 2 15s, and then the rest are.
I want to look at his Sith since that's what he's using. Vader's fine, Palpatine's fine. Nihilus, is he using Nihilus in his team? No.
No, he's mods not.
Either. He's got a 4-star Scion and a 7-star Nihilus. I don't know what the gear level is on that. Problem with doing the profile like this is that it doesn't give him the gear level per se. I'm having to guess.
Gear 9 Scion. Where's Nihilus? Gear 11 Nihilus.
Yeah, I would say get your Nihilus and your Scion. Well, get Scion to gear 11. But get your Nihilus in there with your Thrawn. Bastila Fallen just is not a good counter.
Yeah, she's good, but
there's a reason why you're not seeing it. It's just not effective enough. It can be, but there's so much RNG, it just does not work as what we thought. Maybe when we're able to farm her, or if you can get her to 7-star, maybe, but right now, no. So let's kind of go through. Let's look at the Old Republic. Let's see if he's farming those guys. Yeah, I guess he's done some farming with those. Somewhat. The Zalbar's not even on here. Basila's 5, Mission's 5, T3's 5, Jolie's 3. I don't even know if Zalbar's been unlocked. It's not showing on here. So if you are going in on the Old Republic, my friend, you need to, do the double energies for Bastila. Do the ship and do the regular energy node for Bastila. At the same time, you're still farming Jolie and Zalbar with their regular energy nodes every day. Then once you get Bastila 7 stars, then you move to Jolie, and then you add ship energy to him in your farm. And when he's done, then you go to Zalbar. I would go ahead and get mission done to 7 stars first, and then go back and get T3. So you're on your way. We just have to get the Zalbar into this equation. So you're looking okay on that. Probably need to start working on that sooner than later, but
hey, Grande, have they been able to do heroic Sith yet?
They are doing heroic Sith.
All right.
So they are farming up Treya shards now.
They are farming up Treya shards.
That's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, once he gets Treya, he should be able to climb an arena like nobody's business.
He does have JTR. He does have BB-8. So he's got a lot of the characters unlocked. I don't see Chewbacca anywhere. Let's look at Rebels. Again, we're looking at the pillars. We want to make sure that those pillars are knocked out first. So let's look at Rebels. Chewbacca is nowhere. I'm not. Oh, there's Chewbacca. Okay, he's 5 stars. So he's got him at 5 stars. That's pretty solid. So we
It's
can work
viable.
on. Yeah, we can work on getting him up. He's pretty important. Let's look at your bounty hunters to see where. All right, you're working on boss. Yeah, just get him to 7 stars. So that's one of the other farms that you'll incorporate in there. If you want to get boss up, he's really a key piece to that. The other bounty hunters are fine. You know, they just need some gear on there, but that could finish off your Chewbacca. Ewoks, I'm pretty sure with what you're working on, they're not going to be even close. Yeah, they're not. You can still farm some of these and get them up just in 7 stars. Don't worry about gear or anything. But if we can get them to the 7 stars, maybe we can go for 3PO next time around, and then that'll really help you out. So really the two things that were maybe finish up Chewbacca to 7 stars, and you've got the other components. Oh, I went back out. I forgot you can't do that. I mean, overall, you've done a great job of getting the pillars. You've gotten the big guns out there with JTR and Luke, R2, Thrawn, Palpatine. You know, I think you're farming the Old Republic. I think that's important. After that, maybe get your Ewoks rounded off so you can get 3PO, finishing off your bounty hunters. I think those are your priorities of farms right now. Because if you can get those 3 legendary characters into your inventory, I think you'll be in a really great spot with Thrawn, 3PO, and finishing off Chewbacca. Because then you've got all the legendaries. Then you can start really rounding out some of these teams. Grande, any thoughts on that?
That's a great choice.
And then your arena team, I really think you need to be running full Sith with Thrawn. I would go Palpatine, Vader, Scion, Nihilus with Thrawn. I think you're going to get much better bang for your buck with that than you are right now with the team you're currently running. Shore Trooper's got to go. And I think Scion, if you can get him to Gear 11, is a better tank than Shore for the Sith. I think you'll get better results running that team than you would the team you're running right now, because you're struggling in arena right now. I think your average rank is 975. Your highest is 548. Now I'm looking in here. It says you're 4 something, so that's a good sign. But I think for you to take up the next step, we have to go full Sith on here. Looking at mods in general, I mean, what are we seeing with his mods?
He needs to farm more.
Right.
He needs more speed secondaries. I mean, he's got double digits, but like he doesn't have very high ones. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of slicing that needs to be done. Do not do any 60
yeah.
mods. Don't do it. Don't do it.
60 with this roster is a waste of resources.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Not seeing a whole lot of speed mods as well, so you may want to take some time out of you can do this in the same day, 24-hour period. You could spend 1 round of full mod energy on collecting mods. Like you can go for those sets like speed, offense, crit chance, things of that nature for the primary mods, and then the next round you can use on slicing. So it'll slow down your slicing a little bit, but if you do it like that, you can start working on getting those mods that you need for like those speed sets that are really, really important for your arena team. I think if you can work on getting some more speed mods, I think that's going to help you out tremendously. And we need to start working on the slice. And I would start with this one. I usually, when I slice, I just go to GG and I just go down the line and look for the next mod that I have not worked on, especially this 19 speed 4 on Thrawn or the 16 speed 3 on Vader and down the line. You got some mods here that you can definitely slice that you could get some good results from, especially your speed mods. You never know until you slice on what you're going to get. So I would farm some speed sets. I would start slicing your speed sets first, or you can just work your way down. I don't really care how you do it. Probably want to get some more. Not seeing a lot of potency or some of the other sets, so kind of mix it up for what you need for each character. You can maybe do some sell anything that's not 5 dot 4 dot and below, just go ahead and sell it, and then you can look at the mods you get, roll them, see what you get. It doesn't cost that much to roll them and to see if they get any speed ones, and then you can add that to your inventory. Anything you're seeing with mods or anything, Grande?
I'm sorry. I need to pay more attention, but I can't at the moment.
Why?
Because I'm busy doing something else, and I probably should mute myself.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Sorry, that's not a great answer.
Nathaniel Morgan pointed out something good
Sure.
is like ditch Fallen Basla and put Nihilus in there.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. Get rid of Basla, and Short Trooper, and let's go.
Short Trooper
Scion
will be
and-
fine until he can get Nihilus
Yeah,
up.
it's 11. You just need him to gear 11, and he's great tank at gear 11. Put the right mods on him, health protection, a little speed, and he'll be just fine. Nihilus, same thing. You can get him modded real quick and throw him in there. You're just going to get better results from the Sith team doing that, especially Palpatine lead. You're still going to run into some problems with as you get higher up past 200 with some of the CLS teams with 3PO. It's just an RNG fest. If they attack the wrong person, you're basically hosed. But it can be beaten. You're really going to struggle with trade teams, not as much, but it's still going to be a fight, and it's still going to be a fight. Revan, you got no shot. It's just being real. Revan for you is nasty, but you're not in a shard, especially if you've been playing consistently. That you'll see a lot of Revens and stuff of that nature. So I think you might be okay. I think if we can get your team on your arena rock and rolling, I think it'll put you in a much better spot. All right, so let's look at ships, because that was the other thing that he wanted us to look at is ships. If you want to head over there, Grim, Mike, and I will.
Yeah, let's see here.
Here, and look at his inventory for ships. So, pretty good job, actually, with your ships. Keep farming Vader. Cassian's a free one to farm. Silencer, you'll have to eventually go back and work on. I think once you get your Old Republic, if you want to go back in and farm Cruise Node with Silencer, that would be a great one. Boss is a great ship to work on, and you are working on your boss. You got Biggs done. I can see where you're farming and what ships you're working on. Just stick to your farming plan. It seems like you're working on the right ships. What are you seeing, Grim, with this lineup? Because he is struggling in ship arena.
I think he was in 200. Yeah, average rank 203, highest rank 185.
Yeah.
He's running Chimera with Phantom 2, TIE Advanced, and Biggs. Yeah, Phantom you don't want in your starting lineup, but
No,
at least
if you're going to run Biggs, I'd rather you get Imperial TIE Fighter in there with the TIE Advanced. That way you can at least get the
Imperial
target
TIE
lock.
Fighter, or let's see here.
It doesn't really have a lot of other options. I mean, Phantom's fine because he does target lock multiple characters. So I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has Phantom's reinforcement done. So
No.
Phantom 2 will work until
Characters
you
are
can
really
get
low
his
on there.
reinforcement up.
Reaper you've got done, which is pretty cool. Characters are decently geared. That's a great reinforcement. Scimitar's a great reinforcement. So is Boba Fett. It does have Chimera 5-star, Executrix at 6. So there's some work to be done, but I think you're farming the correct characters that you need to farm. I think once you get done with the Old Republic, Silencer is an immediate one that you need to farm up. Crew is just a great leader for the First Order, and Silencer is just that good of a ship. He really is that damn good. So that might be a ship that you want to consider. I would still work on Houndstooth as well, since you're already going to be working on Bosk for your true event. Why not get the Houndstooth up? It's on Jango Fett Shard, and Jango Fett's not a bad character to get as well.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the loot on that node is pretty good. So it's something you can incorporate as well into your farming plan.
Yeah, it's one of the few hard nodes that actually has a decent drop rate.
But I think you should be using your ship tokens for ships. GW, keep farming these these basic ships. That's what you should be your GW focus right now, is finishing off these ships. I mean, you got bigs, you working on bigs, finish him up. Imperial TIE Fighter's a good one to finish up. I mean, Slave 1. Just keep rocking and rolling with these ships one at a time. Pick a few that you're working on, get them up, keep the focus on there, and I think you'll be good to go. I think overall your ships are okay. There's a lot of ships that are not unlocked or you're not close yet, but I think if you stick to farming those certain ships, I think you'll be really good in a good spot. Anything else you're seeing in ships, Grim?
At the moment, not really. I mean, I know here recently we've been saying farm up IG 2000 and Xanadu Blood to 5 stars for the Millennium Falcon, but at the current state of what his ships are at, I don't think that's a good idea. You know, stay on target. Don't get sidetracked by the shinies for this one. But yeah, work on Houndstooth. Maybe finish up TIE Reaper. I love that ship.
Yeah.
Let's see here. You know, try to buy Boba Fett shards every time he shows up in the shop, because he's a really good reinforcement ship.
I mean, looking at your roster, let me pull it back up on GG. There's a lot there. I mean, you asked about Grand Arena, Territory Wars, stuff like that. Your focus is on getting those 3 pillars that you need. Now, if we go through and look at your roster, just in general, look at your characters. Your bounty hunters are okay. You've got a lot of teams that are okay. What you need to do is keep focusing on your farms. But if you want to start picking a squad and working on gearing them up, then go for it. You've got too many options for me just to tell you, so just pick one. I don't care if it's Resistance. I don't care if it's First Order. I don't care if it's Round of the Bounty Hunters or your Night Sisters. You know, you've got a lot of the pieces in place. Some need some additional work, but we do have some gearing we have to do anyway, like with your Scion and things of that nature. I think your rosters is heading in the right direction. I think adding those pillars will be really good for you. And then it's really just about finishing off those squads, but let's pick a squad and then just work on it. And I've always been of the mindset, if you commit to a squad, you do it all the way. For me, it's always Gear 11 and the Zetas. I don't worry about Gear 12. If I happen to have it from the raids I was doing and stuff that takes someone to 12, great. But for Grand Arena and stuff like that, you get the most bang for your buck if you have teams that are ready that you can use. And the more teams you can get with, you know, some of these pillar teams. And you've done a really great job. I mean, to have all these characters other than 3PO and Revan is not a bad place to be for your GP. I mean, you're ahead of the curve. And I think if you can get Revan into this lineup and then just start rounding up your characters, a lot of them are in a really good spot. So I think you could really do some awesome stuff. I mean, I'm looking troopers and stuff like that. So, GG's not working. Okay, it's not giving me the damn thing anymore. I hate GG sometimes. I really do.
Wait a second. I'm not seeing Talzin. Rutro.
Man, let's go to Night Sisters real quick. I mean, as I said, there's pieces missing from his roster for certain characters. You know, there's just
4-star Gear 4.
Yeah. So I mean, but if you're gonna go in all in on the Night Sisters, then go all in on the Night Sisters for gear and stuff. But you know, for your farms, let's get Old Republic. Let's finish off your bounty hunters. That's your priority for gear and farm for getting those last 2 pillars. You can go to Imperial Troopers.
He does have a 7-star Gear 11 Death Trooper, and same for Stark and Veers.
6-star Gear 11. I love it. The Troopers look really great. I mean, so there's some really good stuff here. I just think we just got to round out and stick to the plan of getting those pillars. And those ships, just farm your ships. You know, and mods, farm mods and slice mods. You need to expand your roster with mods, and you need to slice those mods. As I said, go to GG, filter by speed secondary, and just start working your way down. And for your arena team, my priority is always your arena team. We recommend that you get Nihilus and Scion in there and keep Thrawn. And Thrawn will be your fastest. Your fastest mods will go on Thrawn. And then just rock and roll from there. And then you can work your way down from there. What are the other teams that you have done that are ready to rock and roll? Let's say your JTR team's good. Well, then mod that team. Same thing with, troopers. It looks like they're pretty solid, so let's mod that team. Certain characters will need speed, certain won't. Like BB-8 needs speed. Stark definitely needs speed. Stark needs to be above 235. So that's kind of some of the things you need to think about when you're modding. Some characters don't need speed. Short Trooper doesn't need speed. Doesn't. Just get him health and protection. He's going to take hits. That's all you care about. So you have to be smart about how you mod and which mods you place where. Anything else on this roster, Graham? I think we've got a good plan for him on which way he needs to go.
Yeah, I mean, for a newer player,
really good roster.
This is he's headed in the right direction. And yeah, just stay focused, don't get sidetracked, and you'll do fine. Especially now that you're on your way to getting Treya as well. So
yeah. All right. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm getting pinged in Discord. Give me a second. Oh, what am I getting pinged for? Oh, Territory Wars. Okay. Yeah, this Territory Wars is gonna be fun. All right, next roster we are going to DL Schneider 22. They're in the Dark Lords Grande. Are you still the Grande? And
I'm here. I'm trying to become unbusy as quick as I can.
All right, slap the kids and kill the maintenance man and say I'm busy doing Star Wars stuff. No, don't do that.
Yeah, give them the iPad. Tell them to sit down at the table, and then you're good. Parenting of 2019.
I know, right? All right, let's see what Dr. Schneider wants. Let's see what he wants with his last review. Modding in different
he's running
teams,
a JTR team.
Modding in different teams for Rogue, Sith Raid, and Tank Raids. Arena would be cool too. All right, so let's look at. Again, you can't see it here, so it's JTR, CLS, R2, BB-8, and Barris. Well, first of all, you don't have a tank. That's not going to work. Sorry, buddy, that's just not going to work. We got to change this up a little bit. Ships we'll get into here, but so it's 3 million GP. So the team you're working, no, not going to work. So let's go through your characters and see if we can figure out something we can do. Let's look at Sith.
He's got a Gear 12 Zeta Bastila.
Great.
Sorry. I was like, oh, nice.
All right, you've got Treya. All right, we're ditching your team you're using. God, dog. You've got Treya. You've got Scion. You've got Nihilus. Now, Scion's 6 stars. Now, Treya's 5 stars, but if you got her leader on, get her other Zeta on there. You could start going Sith, and I would do it as soon as possible. Gear priority is your Sith. Let's get Nihilus and Scion to 11. Nihilus, you can take to 12. Palpatine's 11. So Thrawn, Scion, Nihilus, Treya, and Palpatine will be a great team for you. You'll do much better with that team in all aspects. Way better than the current team that you're running right now. That team,
easily top 100
does
team.
not work. Oh yeah, top 100 without a doubt. Just want to see his Rebels. Let's look at his Rebels. Rebels look pretty good. Let's see, where's Chewbacca? All right, Chewbacca's 5 stars, not bad. No 3PO, it's okay. So that means I need to look at his bounty hunters real quick to see where we're at with the bounty hunters. All right, so he should be able to get Chewbacca 7 stars next time around because he does have now a Gear 12 boss with the Zeta, Boba Fett, Zam, Greedo. Oh yeah, this will be fine. You'll be fine. No problems there, homie G. I like that. And then Ewoks, just because we can, for 3PO. All right, not bad. Not bad. Well, surprised you didn't get a... Did I miss it? Seeing 3PO there? I didn't see him. Let me go back. He's got the Ewoks.
Yeah, he's got enough to unlock him at 5 stars.
Maybe
unless
he didn't have him. Yeah. So you should be in a great spot to get him next time too. So good job. I mean, the Ewoks, most of them are farmed. Finished low grade Wicket. I mean, Paplu. You can farm them separately. It's not a big deal, and you can get them up. I think you'll be great for the 3PO. But really, let's look at your old Republic again. We're thinking Thrawn. Again a pillar. Bastila 12 Gear 1. Okay, so Zeta. You're working on Zalbar, Mission, T3. I would stop. If you're farming T3, go ahead and start farming Mission, get her to 7 stars. Now that you have Basla done, I don't care if it's Zalbar or Jolie, but if you want to go Jolie, again, like I said, use the regular energy, use the ship energy. The farming will go faster. Once you're done with that, you can go to Zalbar with the ship energy. Because you're still farming Zalbar's node all the time. So let's go to Mission, let's get her up, and go ahead and finish her off, and then T3 we can worry about afterwards. But let's go Jolie, let's go Zalbar. You've done some good work here, but we got some work to do because we do have a 3-star character. We don't know when Thrawn's coming back, but we do want to make sure that we are farming this team, especially since you got some of the pieces done to rock and roll. Bounty Hunters.
I personally, I think we will see Revan come back probably like for Star Wars Celebration, maybe sooner.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that. Yeah, I mean, it's coming around the corner. We just don't know if they're bringing it back sooner or they're going to stick to the 6-month plan. Between now and March, I'm saying Revan's going to be back. You can lock that in. When in that time frame they'll bring it back, I don't know. It could be sooner, it could be later. But the sooner you get the Old Republic done, ready to go for Revan, the better. It's just the way.
Yeah, he is the most important character in the game right now, in my opinion.
First Order looks great. Just need some gear and some Zetas, and that could be a great team that you can work on. You need to work on First Order Stormtrooper. But you've got Executioner done. That's really important. The others are done. They're 7 stars. Great job on that. Just need if you're going to run First Order, then let's get the Zetas on them and finish up First Order Stormtrooper. He's a vital piece to that. Let's look at your Imperial Troopers. Veers 10, Stark 8, Death Trooper 7. They're farmed. Short Trooper needs to be finished. But yeah. Just need some gear, and again, you only need the Zeta for Veers to make that team work. That's a good team to have. It's great against bounty hunters. I think this is going to be a team you could work on. I like troopers myself. I'm kind of biased to bad guys, but that's okay.
Oh man, I've loved troopers ever since they did the rework. Man, they're just so good.
They're really good. Night Sisters need some work. You need to finish farming. That's understandable. Again, another team that you've gotten to where it is. Really, I'm seeing a lot of teams here. Pick a team. Let's go all in. I don't care. You've got your farming plan for the Old Republic. That's what it is. However, these characters need gear. And I think you need to pick one and let's start rounding these teams out. Your Troopers, your Night Sisters, your First Order, I don't care. Those 3, you can start working on just gearing them to 11 and getting the Zetas on them. That'll give you more options for Territory Wars and for Grand Arena.
I think his main priority should be gearing up his Sith first, though, because
Sith
that'll
first, yeah. PvP team first. Oh yeah, PvP arena. First. Yeah, PvP first.
And stay working on Old Republic, because of course, I mean, Revan's the meta right now for Arena. So,
Scoundrels overall look okay.
I'm here.
Yay, Finn's here.
Hi.
There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Where are we?
We're just looking general rosters and come up with a general plan.
With whom? Are we on?
And we got a virus
Schneider's.
in.
We're on Schneider. Okay.
And Schneider.
Got it.
Galaxy
Okay.
far, far away. That's where we are.
I have to pull it up again because GG.
Long ago and far, far away.
Oh, Schneider. We're changing his PvP team to a Sith team. He's got the pieces with the Treya. Needs his second Zeta on Treya, but he can get his Scion and Nihilus in there and run that team. Because the current team he's running right now is just not going to work, and it's not working. Yeah, there's no argument with us on that one.
No, you can. I mean,
no, Finn. He doesn't even have a tank in there. Stop it.
no. Well, he can change the team and run Jedi Training Ray, BB-8, R2, CLS, and Kenobi, and do better than what he's doing now.
I think he's got the Sith. They're a better team. Run them.
Well, I don't see his Sith being geared.
Well, no, he needs to get him geared, but it's not that far off from the gear.
Okay, yeah. If once he gears it, then yes. But I think in the interim, he can run Jedi Training Ray, BB-8, R2, CLS, and Kenobi, and
We
have
gotta
a
look,
better
where is this
arena team for him
Kenobi?
to climb. Because I think with that Jedi Training Ray team, he can get higher than where he is right now. He should be able to.
Possibly, but he's gonna run into some buzzsaws as he climbs up from where he's at right now.
Well, are his mods on BB-8?
We haven't looked
correctly?
at mods yet. We've just
Okay.
been doing general characters and teams. He's got
I'm
a
gonna
lot
take
of
look
them
at his mods
done.
really quick. Because if he has BB-8 modded, that team works.
It does.
Yeah, but
You know,
it's
he
a
doesn't.
climbing team. It's not a defensive
All
team.
he needs to do is climb at this point because he needs to work a lot on gear. So he has to start accumulating those extra crystals whenever he can. So even if it's just for climbing, it's better. Jedi Training Ray is not a team that's going to last on defense. Like, if
No.
you're
Yeah,
running,
well, people will go out of their way to attack you.
yeah.
well, in the top,
Because-
once you're in the top 200, it's not as. You have to be a little cautious about that too, because a lot of the targeting people in order to climb stuff happens more so in the top 100 than it does in the lower ones.
Mhm.
A lot of the lower ones, the teams tend to be a little bit easier. Now, every now and then you'll come across somebody that just has a crazy team and then just doesn't care about arena. But in general, I mean, you're not going to have to worry about that too much until you get into the top 100. And if you're trying to break into the top 50, then totally agree. Jedi Training Ray is going to get targeted to hell and fall like into the you'll wake up every day in 150 even if you finish at like 49 or something like that. It's gonna be targeted. But if you're trying to just get into the top 100 or something, Jedi Training Ray works perfectly fine. But you need to switch your mods around in order to get BB-8 faster. You have much better speed mods on your character than a BB-8 that's only getting plus 71 speed. That needs to change very quickly. You have like a crit avoidance arrow on BB-8. I mean, they're modded incorrectly. Unless you get the mods fixed, then even changing to a Sith team won't work out well.
Yeah, the modding is very important. I'm filtering. I'm trying to go to his mods. She's not cooperating with me. Get out of there.
Yeah. I just went and looked at BB-8 because I mean he's the engine that runs that Jedi Training Ray team, right? And the problem is, I mean it's his mods are all over the place.
They really are. I mean,
So
we've got
really
a 19
need to get
speed
those
on
focused.
crit chance on. It's like TIE Fighter pilot. We've got.
I mean, I don't mind like on those because that might just be for ship purposes. But I mean, 19 speed.
You just need 5A mods. I'm not.
Yeah, you need to get like 19 speed on your BB-8.
Right.
You want to keep crit damage on your CLS. That's fine. CLS can be fast as well, but no crit avoidance arrow.
We got a lot of
On
slicing
BB-8,
to
that needs to
do.
be like a speed arrow. Let me actually see what his speed.
And we need more speed sets. I'm not seeing a lot of speed mods.
He definitely does.
So again, as I said in the last review, you can spend your energy twice a day. One to get mods, go for speed sets, crit chance, potency. Those are some really good ones. And then the other set you can slice. Use one round to get some mods, and then the next round to do some slicing.
Is Grande still here?
He is busy at the moment.
Okay, and I noticed this with the other one. They're all in the same. No, they're not in the same guild.
No,
but they're all in Dark Lords, and
Right.
I know they kind of move people around, and they're a little bit of a lower GP. And so, I think what happens is that lower players will start out and not realize the importance of mods to everything in this game. Territory wars, territory battles, grand arena, a regular arena, fleet. If you don't mod correctly, you don't realize how much of a detriment it is to your roster. And it's one of the hardest things to pick up for a new player. Like you start out with just working on your regular characters, right? And you get these characters to 7-star and you're all excited about it. And rightfully so. I mean, that's kind of the first hurdle of the game. And you started to get characters at 7-star, you get Luke. I mean, you start getting these ships and all of that. And you kind of start neglecting your mods. And if you don't start focusing on your mods, then you're going to see it's going to be hard to break that next hurdle, which is always trying to get higher in arena and higher in fleet. Mods is a game within the game. And so what you want to do is start remodding your characters to your arena team first. Because I think until you do that point, your roster is going to grow very slowly, and it's going to be hard for you to progress at the same rate as maybe other people at your same GP that are getting higher in arena because they're getting more crystals, they're getting more arena tokens, all of that. And yes, Grim, I know I delayed the roster review, but if we're working on his arena stuff, I think that's his most important thing.
Meh, see? Meh, working on mods. Meh. That's really what he was looking for. Just you've got to keep the farms that you do. You almost have all the pillars done. You know, you'll get Chewbacca 7 stars, no problem. Your Ewoks are pretty much there. You'll get 3PO next time around.
Okay. So he just said he's in the chat, and he said mods are one of the main reasons why he's doing this, to figure out the right way of modding. Well, perfect. So that's exactly why we're here to help.
That's right.
I'll let you guys finish. Mods will probably be a longer discussion. So
no, I've covered what I need to cover. If you want to get into
I think Grim wanted to talk about Ewoks.
I don't.
Oh, I was going to see what Ewoks were at, because C-3PO will help his team out as well if you can get him.
Yeah, if he goes to like the CLS team. Yeah. So here's kind of the general rule about mods for you, and this will. Again, this is kind of like an overarching rule, and this will kind of be the first thing you can use in order to jump the next hurdle, which is you want to put your fastest mods on your arena team. Now, that's not always true, but in general, if you go that route, you'll see that you'll have better success. And particular teams, or I should say particular characters, need more speed than other characters. So, for example, BB-8 in your case. BB-8 needs to be your fastest character, because on turn 1, he can provide turn meter to Jedi Training Rey, and then Jedi Training Rey can remove turn meter from the next person. So it kind of becomes a little bit of a chain effect, where you're looking for a very fast BB-8. And so for each of your spots, this is going to be for your roster, not in general, because I'll kind of do the next step here that you'll want to work on. But what you'll want to do is just put your fastest mod from each slot onto BB-8. So put a 30 speed arrow, put your fastest square, put your fastest triangle, put your fastest diamond, all of that kind of stuff. If you have certain things that have the same amount, so for example, your triangle, you have 219 speeds, you want to save arrows like critical damage and offense for attacker characters if you can. So BB-8 you can put on the crit chance one. It actually works out well because Jedi Training Rey provides exposes based on your crit. So it actually is a pretty good mod for BB-8. So for you, what you would want to do is go that route. Now, Ranger mentioned something else earlier, which is your speed set and the fact that you don't have a lot of speed sets. Now, if you include 4 speed set mods in those 6, then you can gain a 10% bonus to whatever your base speed is. So 10% bonus on the speed for a character like Thrawn ends up being 15. Your BB-8, what gears is BB-8?
11, I believe.
11. So I think your gear 11 is going to get something around 14 extra speed from that set. 14, no, probably 15. So you'll probably get about 15 extra speed by using a speed set. But if you don't have speed set mods, like at high speed secondaries, you're going to keep losing speed so that it may not even be worth it. And looking at your mods, you would probably lose more speed by forcing a speed set. And so that's why Ranger was saying it's a good idea for you to start farming speed sets, because you're missing out on 10% speed simply because you don't have a lot of mod depth with that particular set. And that is one of the most important sets in the game. So you want to start working on trying to get more high speed secondaries on speed sets in particular. But with what you have, you'll want to start to get your fastest mods on BB-8. And then the other characters, for example, CLS. CLS, you can also go with a lot of speed, but also find ones that have offensive stats on them too. So he may not need the fastest ones, but you can get him fast mods. So a mod with offense and speed, something like that. And just try to increase his damage a little bit. Because CLS can hit very hard, and if you do switch to that team, Jedi Training Rey, BB-8, R2, CLS, and General Kenobi, then CLS is going to be much more of a damage dealer, as you don't really have any other solid attackers on that team. Jedi Training Rey does a good amount of damage, but she's actually classified as a tank. And so she's not going to be a main damage dealer. She helps with the expose to deal damage. And so CLS, you'll want to be fast and doing a lot of damage. Jedi Training Ray, you can get speed as well. R2, you'll also want speed. He'll probably want to be your second fastest. And because you now have a taunt in Kenobi, plus you have the pseudo taunt with R2, who should, assuming you make Kenobi tanky, be the target of R2 with his smoke screen, then what will happen is that you don't really need a lot of speed on General Kenobi. You really just need to make him tanky. And so there's one character, and we discussed this on yesterday's lunch stream too, example of a character that does not need speed, right? So you can make Kenobi very tanky, BB-8 your fastest, R2 your second fastest, Jedi Training Ray your third fastest with damage, and then CLS your third or fourth fastest with a lot of damage. That's what you're going to be aiming for with your mods. And you do have a decent amount of non-speed set mods with double-digit speed, so you have some depth with regards to just general mods, but you don't have the you don't have speed sets, which is going to be a hindrance for you.
Yeah.
So something you can just work on there, Schneider. But I hope that answers what you were looking for with regards to modding. And when you talk about your other teams too, like your tank raids and your Sith raid and that kind of stuff, each team needs to be modded a little bit differently. And Grande's talked about this before. And since you're in Dark Lords, I'll let you know Grande is just as obsessed about mods as I am. And so he would be a great resource for you, which is setting up mod sets for PvE versus PvP is a big difference, because a lot of time you don't need a lot of speed when you're doing stuff in a raid. Now, sometimes you do, but not all the time do you need speed. You can focus more on damage stats. If you're in PvP, most of the time speed is still king, and so it's important that you have a lot of speed. So depends on which team, which is whether or not the team is always going to be in PvP or always going to be in PvE content like raids, or whether or not you're switching, then setting up mod sets for them, something like that. And this is why I was saying, like, it's very easy to neglect mods because mods are complicated. And I'm sure as I'm discussing this, Grim is falling asleep. Ranger's eyes are probably rolling. I mean, all
How much cartoons?
There you go. See, and I mean, so that's what happens. And it's
I think it's important.
It's a difficult thing to kind of deal with. It's a
Stop it, Grim. It's important. Shut your hole.
Well, he's right though, because I know not a lot of people are math inclined.
I agree with Finn on this part. You know, mods are very important, but a lot of people fail to do them because they're overly complicated. They are really overly complicated.
The other thing too is that your understanding of mods changes as you get more good mods. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, if you've been farming mods, been given mods, you know, for 6 months, versus you've been farming mods, and Schneider is one of our newer players in Dark Lords. He's actually in the same guild I am. And you can kind of tell that by his Treya. You know, he's a new-ish, I would say, player. You know, he sees that. I'm going to tell you, he does really good with the roster he's got, though.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a pretty good roster. It just needs focusing. Yeah. You know.
And mainly just on the mod front, like his character builds are fairly decent. Like he's been working on the right characters. I think maybe he's gone a little bit too high on gear 12 on some of these characters, but no, I mean that's not a major issue. But the reason
why he's probably gone to gear 12 is because he's been sitting in a guild, and he only, you know, the thing is when you're sitting in a guild like Dark Lords, it becomes kind of an issue if you're kind of a middle of the road player. You're given so much G12 gear, right? Because we're running the highest tier raids, and you started out low, that you finally get a character and you're like, oh, this can only go on this character. It's the only character I have that can take this gear. And you sit there and look at it for 2 weeks, and then finally you just put it on.
Right.
I mean,
as long as he's not spending guild event tokens, I guess is the main thing. Because he has a 7-star Hermit Yoda, but his Wampa's only 5-star. So as long as he's not
I remember having a conversation with him about where do we go with this, and we kept telling him, go Hermit Yoda. And since you're in a guild that does heroic Sith raids, that character is viable on multiple teams, and we run that. It'll help your score if you'll get a 7-star Yoda first. And so that's why we told him, hey, go Yoda first and then go Wampa.
Right. Yeah. As long as he's not spending guild event tokens in order to get characters to gear 12, then all is good.
Point. I don't know if he's doing that or not.
But if he gets Wampa to 7 stars, and you can buy all the gear 12 gear.
Yes. Once you finish that, his Wampa's at 5-star though, so definitely finish Wampa first. Potentially, depending on where his roster and stuff is, we can see he might be better off. He can get gear 12 gear. He might be one of those few if he's trying to keep up with Dark Lords. Not always the best scenario, but you could always buy some character shards from guild event tokens to catch up as well. Depending on where your roster is, how much gear and stuff you have stored up, because he's a low GP that's already getting Treya and everything, he's going to be ahead of the curve of pretty much everyone at his GP level if he can maintain his roster correctly. So
and he just needs to get a little bit higher in arena.
I mean, 3 million for a 3 million roster is very solid.
Yes.
So you're building everything really well. So don't be discouraged by what we're saying. We're trying to get you over that next hurdle, which is getting higher in arena, because your roster has the capability of being into the top 100 pretty consistently if you agree. You have the time in order to attack. 100.
Potentially into the top 50 with his roster, I think.
Yeah, once he gets Treya kind of geared up and everything with the Sith, like Ranger was mentioning, you can.
It'll also depend on how many Revens he has crawling all over his shard.
I don't think at the shard at his level he'll see that many. So I
shouldn't see a ton, man. I mean, if you look at it, he's, his shards, you could see when he joined GG. So we're looking at a 6-month shard, maybe an 8-month shard. Let's look at his.
He joined in July of 2017 for.
Oh, so it's a year.
So it's like a year and a half. So,
upper end.
He could see a few. He could see a few then.
Yeah, but I think top 50 is reasonable. I think if we were trying to push the top 20 without the speed set mods and everything, he may have difficulty. But I think top 50, I think is reasonable with some additional mods and stuff. So you're on the right track here.
All right. So that's our roster reviews for today, guys. If you have questions, Snyder and Vader, about your roster reviews, just get with us in Discord. If you would
by the way, he said that he's only using his guild event tokens for Wampa now.
Good.
Yeah, and I was also going to say, you guys have one of the best resources in the game. You are in Grande's guild, man. Use his knowledge, because the dude is smart.
Oh,
he may not be able to pronounce words correctly.
He sucks at reading, but by God, he's a savant when it comes to this game.
I mean, he will drop the knowledge bomb on you.
But if you would like a roster review, all you need to do is send your GG page to Dr. Finn. Make sure he responds, and he will go ahead and get your roster review squared away and in the queue. And we will let you know ahead of time when your roster review is coming up. Alrighty then. Now that that's done, it is now time for questions. Finn, have you been collecting questions?
Oh, I can bring it up.
Yes, if you wouldn't mind. Makes my life a little bit easier.
I have Nightbot open. Let me.
Good news! I've done my arena in time. 7 minutes to play.
Yay!
Now hopefully nobody will snipe you.
And the 8th Minstrels. Yay!
I'm in a shard chat. We we protect each other.
Well, so we got our first question was actually even before the stream started by Speedo Kills. And he says, question, what does one need to do to have a question answered? Simple. You put question in front of your question and then it pulls up on the Nightbot.
Oh, and if anyone's wondering, 85.
God. Okay.
No, do you want to know the question for that answer?
42.
No,
Go ahead,
85. Mike. Approximate number of ship Omegas required for MILF.
You.
All right.
I'm saying ew to the Omegas, not to the analogy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next question from Tangent Revolution. Question. I am always first place in fleet, and it's a big part of the reason I'm able to do so well in game. Should I sift my resources to get my Rebel fleet up now? I'm an 800k GP player, FYI.
I'd say it would depend on if you're able to get a 7-star MILF or not.
Or at least 5-star.
I'm also hesitant to tell anybody to start putting gear in Phoenix.
Oh, man.
They're
So that-
Really?
Carbonti heavy.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you, I just now took all my Phoenix to gear 11. Just now. And I just now, put the Zetas on them.
Yeah, I mean they're good early game.
Mm-hmm.
Mid game they kind of fall out, and then
They
late
suck
game
like
they
hell.
kind of start to reappear because of ships.
And then they
How
start to
many-
reappear late game. And then super late game, if you have really great mods and you can afford to put super mods on Chopper to kind of get the ball rolling on that team, because Chopper's the speediest one, and you can afford to put all the Zetas on them, then they kind of reappear again. But that's only like super late game when you're like, where do I put my Zetas? Well, I guess I finish off Phoenix. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
But after Bodhi.
low-key problems.
well, I'm telling you, I was like, I put Phoenix. Here's the deal: you use again, right? Looking for a utility team. We use Phoenix ships. We typically end up going, well, what do I put on defense as my fifth team? Oh, I don't know, Phoenix, right? So we end up by default using Phoenix in TW. We end up by default using Phoenix in GA. And so I was like, I'm tired of by default having a crap team. So guess what? I'm going to not make them crap. Like, that was my logic behind it. So
I just found, I mean, end game gearing, maybe hold off on, but Phoenix are just, like you said, they're almost the Swiss Army knife squad of this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so gear hungry though. That's
I'm gonna tell you, though,
the main
but
problem.
Modded correctly, everybody thinks, oh, well, I can go in there and I can beat them with my this and that. I can go in there and beat them with my Pofin team. I can go in there.
You can't.
And I can go in there and beat them with crew. And then all of a sudden you go up against a really well geared team, and you go up against a really well modded team, and all of a sudden you get your lunch handed to you by a Phoenix team because somebody took the time, energy, and effort to actually do it. And I'm going to tell you, there are some players in this game that played Phoenix for so long, they put the right mods on Phoenix. They hold Phoenix at a higher value than you or I do. One of a great player that's usually in this chat, and Darth Hideous will know him, Pokey, right? Pokey.
Pookie! Stop calling him Pokey! God damn it!
Pookie.
Oh God, this is never gonna end.
We do the hokey pokey pookie. He puts so much time and energy into his Phoenix team that his Phoenix team is really amazing. So
only to get soloed by Nest.
I mean, when you're asking about whether or not to work on your Rebel fleet, definitely work on getting them up to 7-star, right? So you can work on getting all of your ships to 7-star. You should always be trying to do that. So get your Phoenix or your Phantom to 7-star, your Ghost, your Wedge, all of that. So if you want to work on your Rebel ships in that context, then go ahead and do it. I keep saying Phoenix. Phantom has its main thing in its reinforcement. So if you want to max out Phantom's reinforcement, that's actually not bad either. Assuming your gear is fairly decent, I would say maybe about gear 8 or 9 is enough to unlock some of the abilities of the ship to make it a little bit more useful. But if you're thinking about putting in gear in order to get them to gear 11 to unlock like all the crew abilities and stuff, I would wait a little bit. Nothing wrong with waiting for the meta to settle before you jump into it, especially at a lower GP, right? Let the people that have expendable resources do the work for you to see whether or not it's worth it. Because if that team is going to be easily beaten anyways, let's say that this team is great against the endurance teams, but your old school Chimera, Biggs, Vader, and TIE Fighter, which can still do well in Arena, by the way, even now against mixed teams, if that one is still able to beat your Rebel teams, well, then there's not a huge reason for you to kind of change things around. But if it's dominant like Revan is in Arena, then you can consider kind of putting resources.
Here's the deal. Millennium Falcon is going to be a great climbing ship.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who has a 5-star to 6-star Millennium Falcon, expect to see an additional. When you play on offense the hour before your payout, expect to be 50 spots higher. don't expect that team to hold though on defense. I mean, just look at the kit. Read the kit's abilities. Those kit abilities read like, they read well, but you're still going to be able to take everything else down. I mean, you're going to end up having to throw like 2 or 3 tanks in there. Who are your big damage dealers on that team? On a rebel team, your big damage dealers are what? Wedge, maybe Cassian.
Wedge, the regular Falcon, the episode 7 Falcon.
Well, the episode,
but that one's squishy as well. So
the thing is, that one's resistance. It's not a rebel ship.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, my bad.
You see what I mean? I mean, it's so again, you talk about. What I'm saying is it's going to be 2 or 3 rebel ships with 2 or 3 other ships, right? I mean, I don't really see it. I don't really see it as totally working.
Personally, I think you're going to see the new Millennium Falcon on teams that aren't rebels.
You're going to see it on teams that aren't rebels. Here's the other thing too: is their main taunter, which is Biggs, right? Only does target lock, only the taunts when it target locks, and you've got 3 of the rebel ships that do target lock, but they only do them on like crazy abilities. They don't target lock on basic, which means you're still going to go back to other ships with that one to try and keep that one alive.
Yeah. So, I mean, work on getting them to 7-star, wait before you start putting gear on the pilots and stuff, and let the meta settle a little bit by other people so you don't have to deal with it.
And watch my channel for more ships videos.
Okay.
we're probably going to see some really nasty BIS stands popping up again.
Yeah.
I mean, that ship is made for this, especially if it's maxed out so it calls an assist from a random ally.
Oh, yeah. BIS So people with maxed out Bistons and people with maxed out Cassians and people with maxed out, even people with maxed out Ghosts, because Ghost does a target lock, believe it or not.
Yep.
So you're going to see
it.
it.
All right, next question is from Scrumpy Jim. Question, what's the ideal Kira lead scoundrel team and what's the Zeta priority for them? I think you can end up with like 800 different
there's multiple ideal Kira scoundrel teams. Like Kira lead with Nest, OG Chewie and OG Han and L337. That one is stupidly overpowered.
Again, though, what happens whenever you're talking about TW teams is, which TW team, which Kira stall team does it without screwing up a bunch of other.
Well, he didn't say territory war. So if you're talking about territory war, then yeah, you definitely have to be cautious about cannibalizing.
Yeah, that too.
So I mean, there's a couple. I know Grim runs a Lando team that he can talk about. My Kira team,
Lando's
Kira, Zalbar, Mission, L3, and who am I missing? Zalbar, Mission. Oh, and Vandor Chewie. So that's my scoundrel team.
Though I think in the last patch they messed with Lando's AI because I'm noticing he stopped focusing his stealth on the lowest health ally. So, yeah, might not work as well this coming TW. I'll let you know after it.
All right. So there's a few different options for that, so you can kind of play around with it. Nest is a good one on that team too, but often she goes with Night Sisters and whatnot. So if you don't have Night Sisters, then Nest under Kira is really nasty, and you can replace Mission with that if you want. So that's your damage deal. Next question, Daniel Salazar question. I've been wanting to change my fleet team for a while. Currently running Thrawn with Houndstooth, TIE Fighter Pilot Vader, Plo Cassian, and Scimitar. Should I gear 12 Phoenix for their ships or focus on First Order for territory wars? Both factions are gear 7 8.
I personally
First Order.
Yeah.
Phoenix are awesome, don't get me wrong, but good God, they chew through your gears so fast.
Yeah, they're heavy on stun guns and carbantes and whatnot. They'll drain you. So,
And First Order gives you the option of shuttle and silencer, and those two ships are
very good.
Upper top tier.
Yeah.
Very good.
And Grande mentioned it with one of the previous questions. Gear 12 Phoenix is fine, but you do need to start investing Zetas on them to really see them dominate. First Order requires Zetas as well, but First Order Zetas, I think, are better served long-term for you in the game. Just overall use of First Order is higher than Phoenix. So I would definitely go First Order also. All right, next question. Faymok. Question, I am working on the Bounty Hunter Prestigious quest. It's requiring me to fulfill Boba's contract 500 times. What is the requisite to his contract? His contract is
which character did he say?
Boba.
So he's got to fill Boba Fett's contract. So you got Boba as the leader.
Oh, defeat the first enemy that takes a turn in any encounter.
Yes.
So basically, whoever goes first, you have to kill him.
Here's what you have to do. You have to what you need to do is you need to play it in GW and actually really play GW.
You don't need him as lead though, do you? You just need to you just need to fill his contract. Any bounty hunter lead.
Oh, you mean his contract? Not his leadership.
No, it doesn't need to be him in the lead. I haven't gotten to that. I was reading.
No, it's just his contract you got to fill.
So you can do it with like IG-88 or something.
Wait, but he only gets his contract in the leader. The other thing is called his payout.
All the other ones are payouts.
So
okay. The leader.
Hey.
The contract is what you get from being in the leader, and the payout is what you get from fulfilling the contract. But each bounty hunter leader puts a different contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Boba Fett needs to fulfill
the easiest.
Well, I guess I need to see the wording on the prestigious quest. Does he have to fulfill his contract or any contract?
Any contract.
Okay, they say he has to be. Well, we're getting contradicting in chat as well. People are saying no, he has to be lead, and then other people are saying any lead. But
okay, so we have people saying
Dune says he got it done using Bosk's lead.
Okay, so we'll make that assumption right now. I have not read what the wording is, so we'll go with what the chat is saying. So it's any lead, and so okay, so then you can go with any lead and just go in there and find the easiest one. There you go.
The blurb is fulfill the contract.
Okay, so like use IG-88, Vader, and then a bunch of bounty hunters, because IG-88 is hit anyone with debuffs, right? So that have debuffs. That would probably be the easiest one to fill out.
Boba's is easy too if you do it in Galactic War, because you can just set your bounty hunters on auto. Whoever is attacking first is going to die because your bounty hunter should be able to kill Galactic War at that point. So every node is like a free completion.
And don't forget, Dark Side territory battles would be great because you get six times that you can use your bounty hunters there. And also
you can't fulfill your contract.
You'll get some Wampus to kill.
One. I gotcha. Each phase.
Yeah. And also you get to kill Wampus because the other part of the challenge is that Boba has to be present when 12 Wampus are killed or something.
Yeah. And somebody in our Discord put a really good guide to that Wampa one, where if you have a good friend that they can just put Wampa with a bunch of rezzers and then you can keep on focusing on Wampa. It's like Wampa, Daka, Zombie, Ewok Elder, and Captain Han Solo.
Yeah, but that's cheating.
It's not cheating. It's having friends. Just get friends and make your life easier. All right. Next question is from Gav P. Question, can I get a shout out from my guild, Legendary Warriors? We beat our first heroic Sith this week.
Yeah.
Thank you for your advice, guys. Helped us along. Keep RSGing.
Congratulations, guys.
Very nice.
Congratulations and shout out to Legendary Warriors.
That's right.
Great job, guys. It is a good feeling. I think I mentioned it like in one of the previous streams we were talking about like our most favorite moment in Galaxy of Heroes. Beating Heroic Sith for the first time was my favorite moment, like doing it with my guild and stuff. So
yeah, the it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yes. It's like, oh my god,
Yes,
wait, we made it into phase 4. What the hell? We made it back. Everybody Zerg, Nihilus is down. God, there were so many spaz everyone messaging us today. Like, oh my god, there's 30% left. Come on, we can do it. Like
Shoot!
Fire everything.
Okay, I'm not reading that one because Ranger's gonna get mad.
Yeah.
Next one, Nathaniel Morgan. Question: can we ban everyone with pink avatar from the chat?
No.
Man, chat has been something fierce today.
Oh man.
All right. Next question is from Tangent Revolution. Question: are there any Dark Lord guilds for players around 800 KGP?
I don't know.
Grande?
Yes.
Wait 5 minutes.
Yes. Wait 5 minutes and there'll be a spot for you. We have a guild for every player. And normally you're either in a heroic guild if you can get your 600 or wait a month and it'll be a heroic guild. I mean, that's just kind of...
There you go. That's science.
That's just kind of how we roll.
Which is awesome, by the way.
The idea here is that we run guilds in such a way where high-level players get great rewards and low-level players get coaching and good rewards. And we all make some sacrifices, but we all end up with better stuff because we all kind of sacrificed a little bit.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next question from Schneider, our roster review. Question:
hit me up in Discord with a PM if you want to get in.
There you go. Question from Snyder, who was our roster review. Question: what's the best place to farm speed mods? So, for your roster, because you do have a lack of speed mods in general, yours is going to probably be the speed mod challenge. This isn't the same advice we would give to everybody, so take this with the knowledge that is based on Schneider's particular roster, because we just reviewed it. When you don't have a lot of speed sets with speed secondaries, mod challenges are good. When is it bad? When you're not looking for +8s and +7s or +10s. When those are not the mods you're looking for, and you're at the point where you're starting to focus and trying to get +15s, +17s, +18s, the over 20s, like those kind of stuff, mod challenges is going to be a huge waste of resources for you. Massive waste of resources for you if you go about farming it that way. So for where your roster is right now, Schneider, it's going to be a good idea for you to farm mod challenges until you get a good amount of double-digit speed secondaries with speed set under your belt, and you can still benefit quite heavily from the +8s, the +9s, the +10s, even the +7s. But at some point, you'll see that you have way too many of them. You have more mods for speed than you do like teams that you can put together. And at that point, you can stop. And that's when you start looking at the mod store a little bit more and getting very specific mods only. Very specific. What are you looking for? Well, you're looking for a purple or gold mod with speed secondary that starts off showing at least 4, preferably 5. Obviously 5 dot with the speed set. Like, you're looking for very specific things that you'll be getting from mod store. You don't want to go ahead and buy everything because then you'll run out of all of your credits, and that's not a good place for you either. But for where you are right now,
I made that mistake a couple times of like there's a +5 speed secondary mod that I want to buy, and I buy it, and then I go to upgrade and it says you're out of currency, and I went, oh no.
Yeah, that can definitely happen if you're not careful. So so with where you are, definitely go with the challenges for a little bit and try to get everything together. Next question from Chewy. Question: why is MILF so ridiculously overpowered? Isn't the power jump getting a bit crazy? I'll let somebody else comment because I still need to read over the kit a little bit more. I haven't had the time lately.
Yeah, I've been looking it over a little bit more. I did watch a couple of the Game Changer videos. Didn't really pay too much attention to it, but on paper it sounds overpowered. In game, chances are it's not. That special ability buff that it gets, the unique buff that makes it to where it can't be targeted, is not a locked buff in the videos. So I'm guessing it can be dispelled, so Cassian will be able to get rid of it, and then you can blow it up. So, I mean, we will have to see how it works in the game itself. But yeah, right now, I wouldn't say it's overpowered.
There you go. Next question, Nathaniel Morgan question. As good as MILF is, are you guys disappointed that that's faction specific? I'm not getting it, but if I was, it would be absolutely useless in my Galactic Republic fleet.
I beg to differ.
Again, I have to still review the stuff a little bit more. So
I mean, yeah, it does have lots of Rebel synergies, but most of it. Hold on a second.
Most of it, yes.
Sorry about that. A lot of its abilities affect all allies as well, not just Republic, like the defense penetration and like the foresight reinforcement is all allies. So it might be used on other teams as well. I mean, man, a Mace team that gets given foresight, as if it wasn't already hard enough to beat as it is.
All right. Next question, Speedo Kills question. I have all 168 tunes, over 1,000 mods, been slicing since was a thing, only have 57 offense set mods and considering mod farming again. Should I stop slicing to start farming offense mods again?
If you need them.
Depends on the quality of the mods that you have.
Yeah.
I mean, you can farm a bunch of offense sets, right? But it goes back to what we were just talking about with Schneider, right? Which is, what are you looking to get out of farming mod challenges? Because with over 1,000 mods, I can guarantee you that about 95% of the mods, if not more, that you're going to get from the challenges are going to be complete crap. Like, you're not going to get anything you're looking for. You're probably looking for offense set mods with offense secondaries, right? Or with like a primary on the arrow or the cross, or maybe even the triangle. Or you're looking for crit damage triangle with an offense set with flat offense and offense percentage secondaries. Like, you're going to be looking, you're probably at the point, if you have all those characters and tunes, that you're now looking for very focused modding of your characters. And so farming mods again with the challenges is probably not going to give you a huge return for what you're investing. So I would say that you might want to start, again, looking at the mod store a little bit more if you're looking for specific mods for specific characters. If you haven't, then, like, if you don't have a lot of those, then go ahead and start farming offense sets. But if you make sure you know what you're going after, because you're going to get a lot of potential crap by farming challenges based on where your roster is. So you're not going to benefit from a lot of that. Nathaniel Morgan question: do you think Silencer will be mandatory for non-MILF players for opening stun on MILF?
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't read the kit, so I'll go with yes.
I watched Warriors first, and I actually commented, "Ooh, I peed a little." It just looks so good.
Well, there you go. Mike peed a little.
Oh, dude, the animations that they did for this Falcon look amazing.
Oh yeah, I love the way that it speeds through space and doesn't move. That one's quite funky.
All right, we'll give the next one to Ranger, because this is a Ranger type question.
What?
Kazekage Too Easy. How do you mod First Order for Phase 4 of the Heroic Sith Raid? And the team Kazekage Too Easy is using is Crew with Executioner, Officer, Stormtrooper, and SFTP.
Well, you want as much crit chance as possible. I mean, you want Crew tanky and stuff and fast, but it's all about crit chance, because as they get crit chance, they're getting turn meter and they're getting more turns to go. It's that simple. and you're using your first order officer to basically speed up Executioner. Executioner just running in there and constantly Kassan chopping the hell out of things. You don't worry about the ads because you're going to use your Kylo mask to take care of those. Your stormtroopers calling to assist. There's a lot of call of assist, but it's really about getting Executioner basic hit, big hit, basic hit, big hit, to where he's just constantly getting more health and more health, to where he is just knocking the living snot out of that phase. But it's still phase 4, so you're only going to be able to do so much damage, because even though you're speeding up, you're not slowing them down, and you'll live to the end. And then Crew and Kylo Ren can go for a little bit even with the debuff, but it's not an ideal team for phase 4. I mean, it can do some decent damage, but it's not going to get that big hit like Night Sisters is going to get you.
There you go. Next question is from Captain Obvious. Question: Solo came out on Netflix the same time OT Falcon announcement. Coincidence? No, it's not. They often release things with movie releases and
obviously
releases, all that kind of stuff. So
there are a lot of times whenever they co-brand things. Part of the reason for releasing OT Millennium Falcon now is because a bunch of people got a brand new phone for Christmas, and so they're trying to do things. They do a lot of stuff in January, a lot of stuff in February, and the reason why is because people who've opened the game and who've just downloaded the game, when they got a brand new phone, they're trying to get them kind of something awesome to kind of get them a little bit of a hook.
There you go. Let me refresh the question page here. Let's see. Next question. Hellenix question. Seriously, when is the name change from RSG Lunch Stream to Dark Lord's Hour happening? Grande said this would be happening soon, TM.
3 months ago?
And look, we just have a lot of guilds and Dark Lords, and a lot of those guys, when they start asking a bunch of questions about their roster, one of the first things we do is we recommend that they get engaged in other areas, right? And one of the first ways to get engaged is, hey, why don't you join the RSG Discord server? Why don't you ask for a roster review? And why don't you start watching some of our videos while we review other people's rosters? Because us reviewing someone else's roster can help you with your roster. I'm going to tell you, us reviewing other people's rosters helps me with my roster. So that's what.
That's science.
Yes.
Word.
Okay, next question, Kazekage2. Easy question. If I Zeta, Pow, and Bodhi Rook, can I join Dark Lords?
Oh, man. You can join Dark Lords without Zetaing Pal and Bodhi Rook.
You actually may not be allowed if you Zeta that. Like, nope.
How
you
dare
Zeta
you?
two of the worst characters. You wasted Zetas. You're not serious. Goodbye.
How dare you?
Oh, wow.
Poor Riemann.
By the way,
Silence when you start in lineup. 3:49 and I'm done.
What was that, Grande?
I said Speedo Kills, which is in chat, is also in Dark Lords.
Of course. All right, Billy Gunn question: what do you guys think of Falcon's kit? I haven't read it yet. I'll comment on it tomorrow.
It's OP, but it's limited.
really good. It's especially
It's
really
pee
good.
inducing.
And it's a frontline ship. It does have a really great reinforcement, but it's like, why bring it in as a reinforcement? Just have it on the starting lineup.
Yeah.
All right.
What else? 73, who also is another Dark Lords member, said if you Zeta them, you're banned forever.
There you go.
God damn.
All right, next question from Albin Rubens. Question: I farmed Hermit Yoda all the way in case he's required for the Return of the Jedi Luke event. I was mortified to read on Reddit that Wampa is as likely to be required as well. What do you all feel we might need? So, I mentioned Wampa a long time ago. So what I typically do, especially as a free-to-play player, is when I know that an event is coming. Now, it's harder when you don't necessarily know that the event is coming, or sometimes they throw you a curveball in the type of release that Revan was, right, where he needed a 7-star for the unlock and that kind of stuff. So every now and then, there's something that kind of throws you for a loop. But in general, when you know that an event is coming, it's a good idea to kind of think of all the characters that may be associated with what could be that character. And so I did the same thing when CLS first came out. I was working on my Jawas because at some point Jawas were associated with Luke, and like I came up with all of the characters that Luke ever encountered and then started working on them to make sure that they were ready in case it dropped. So when we look at Return of the Jedi Luke, right, you know that you're going to need CLS. The other characters that may or may not be needed would be different versions of the Han, probably more likely than not, either regular Han Solo or Captain Han Solo. You may also need Rebel Officer Leia, right? Because you already needed, you needed Princess Leia for the first one.
Yep.
Right. So Rebel Officer Leia may be needed for the return. Hermit Yoda is a good potential option for Luke. Now C-3PO is also a potential. You could also see the return of R2 being needed for that event. And I said Wampa because if they start this on Hoth, then the first thing you could do is have Wampa go over there and you use your Wampa in order to capture the event CLS. Like you attack it with your Wampa and capture it, and then afterwards you use all your light side characters in order to work towards the storyline of Return of the Jedi. So, I mean, I had already kind of guessed that. Whether or not it's actually going to happen, who knows? It may be the first 6-character legendary event as it's the next step. There's a lot of other things that can get involved in this too. Like you may end up needing Palpatine and Vader. Who knows? But
maybe they'll go the bad lip reading version.
Oh god!
Where you have to fight Return of the Jedi Luke on a ping pong table.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
the first thing you want to do is I mean we've done it over and over and over again, right? Farm rarity.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of times these events are strictly a rarity farm, which means get everything you can get to 7-star. After you've done that, then work on gear. Work your arena team, work your ship's arena team, work rarity to 7-star. I mean, look, it's just like G.I. Joe, man. G.I. Joe said, showing up is half the battle. Let me tell you, if you don't have it 7-star and 7 stars required, then you can't show up, which means you have no choice. You have no possibility of winning. A lot of people can tell you that they got a 7-star C-3PO, or they got a 7-star Chewie, or they got a 7-star this or a 7-star that, just because they had the 5 characters or the 6 or 8 characters or however many characters were needed. They had them at 7-star. They got Revan on the last day with 2 minutes left because they had everything at 7-star. So basically, farm rarity first.
Mm-hmm.
After you farm rarity, make sure you're farming for gear for your arena team and for your ship's team, and work on some mods while you're at it.
Nathaniel Morgan says, so I should farm Cody and Echo specifically for you. Yes.
Yeah, you probably should.
You should farm them right now. Just drop everything else you're doing, Nathaniel Morgan, and just start farming.
But what I'm saying back.
No, just Nathaniel. This is specifically for Nathaniel Morgan. Nobody else. Nobody else listen to this. Just Nathaniel Morgan. Start farming.
Slow roll them, man. Just slow roll them. Coco said DL is everywhere.
Yes.
Dark Lord's member.
We're surrounded.
People that never talk in chat are coming up. Viewers that never talk. The first time ever posting in chat. And the only thing they say is DL is everywhere. I love it, man.
All right. Next one. I'll give this one to you, Grande, because I know you've done stuff. So Dexatronic question, how do you mod Night Sisters for Phase 4? I can't seem to get that team to work, and I think it's mods. Any advice?
Yes, it absolutely is mods. So that team works on heals. Any character that heals creates turn meter, right? So the team almost doesn't need any speed. In fact, I have like almost 0 speed on some of those characters. What I have is I have a ton of offense and a ton of health with crit damage, crit chance. So I'm running offense arrows on like Mother and on Asajj Ventress. I'm running health arrows on Talia and on Old Daka. I'm running offense crosses with crit chance and crit damage sets. And then effectively what you're doing is if it's Talia's turn, Talia does a move that does heal. And then you're basically trying to like spread out the other 4 heals because Talia has 2, Mother has 1, Asajj has 1, and Daka has 1. And you're trying to spread them out. And then you never want to use a heal move while Talia's at 100% TM. But if Talia's not at 100% TM, then you want to use a heal move to get Talia because Talia has 2. So you're constantly trying to like run those, and then if you double Zeted Asajj and you single Zeted Mother, you also get turn meter reduction on basics on Nihilus. So how this works is, but Nihilus gains like 6 speed every time you hit him. So what you're trying to do is if Nihilus just took a turn, you're hitting Scion until you get like 25% turn meter on Nihilus. Then you go back to basics, except for Mother's AO call and assist on everyone, and then you go back in like that. So you're kind of, and then now you hit him until he goes, and then you go over and hit Scion until Nihilus is at 25% TM, and you move back and forth, and you kind of have this running total in your head of who just did their heal move and how many cooldowns it's on. So you've always got a character with a heal coming up to push the characters to push TM onto the characters. Asajj Ventress's AoE, Asajj Ventress's Dispel, which also heals, will also remove turn meter. So, but it'll only remove turn meter if they have buffs. So like after Nihilus goes and he has buffs, then it'll remove TM. So you can do like 2 at once. But it's all about offense arrows, offense crosses, offense triangles on Mother and on Asajj Ventress, and then it's all about trying to kind of spam the heal. At the same time, you're looking at which character do I use to remove the stacks of Treyas, whatever it's called. Can you withstand 30 and still not get to 2 stacks of whatever that little lock tornado buff thing is on a zombie, or do you need to get rid of that? Have your characters died twice so she won't revive without it? You're constantly looking at 3 or 4 or 5 things all at one time, trying to make sure it works. But the team is not based on speed, so you're completely running different modding. And some people are better at it than others. It takes some getting used to make it work. I don't even worry about Plague at all, which means I'm not even running potency on Mother at all. I'm running straight offense because I'm not worrying about stacking Plague and then them using a special and then them getting Plague on someone else and then putting it on. I'm not even worried about any of that. Long story short, from Nathaniel Morgan, yes, Skeletrix makes a great video on Night Sisters. There's a bunch of other people that have really good videos on Night Sisters. But yes, Skeletrix's video is probably the best.
Or talk to Ouchie. Mm-hmm. Her Night Sisters are amazing.
All right. And then last question for Grande from Revenator. Question: if I go grocery shopping later today, how many Dark Lords will I run into?
Probably 5 or 6.
And they'll all tell you Grande is a big deal. And if they don't say that, then make sure you tell them.
They will all try to recruit you.
And yes, Hideous, I just hit over 200K with my silencer.
Yep.
205 to be exact.
I'm ready for the MILF. I got my IG 2000.
I will not be participating in the MILF.
Ranger, do you have a NGINX open?
Not at the moment, no. Why?
Could you?
Yeah, I'm hoping to.
We have the ACS wheel to roll.
Ooh.
I didn't get time to.
I don't have that.
I
don't have that.
We have it set up, right? I'll talk about the ACS stuff. Well, hopefully.
I think it's running, so if you turn yours on, it'll give me a second here.
No, it's not connecting.
Oh, I gotta run it, so give me a second here.
Okay. Well, really quick, while Ranger is doing that, we are still raising money for the American Cancer Society, and we have the list of. At the bottom of the screen, you can see where we have all of the people that are have donated, and so we've donated up to 4,508 so far.
Okay,
so we're over 4,500, and that reaches one of our milestones, which means that we roll our ACS wheel.
It's up and running.
So that we're going to be giving away one of the prizes to those that donated. And so we're going to roll first the item, and then I'm going to get my list together for all of the donors, and then we'll see who wins it.
It's black. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I know.
I was going to say, it's just black screen. Oh, there it popped up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you should have gotten it, right, Ranger?
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay. So
I'm clicking to spin, and it's not happening.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to spin it right now.
I'm clicking to spin, and it's not working. It's false advertising.
All right, let's go. Let's spin it. Whee! Click, 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 click. There we go. So the winner will get an ACS determination. That's kind of their campaign for fundraising.
Very
nice.
It's
the ACS determination cap. So there's a baseball cap that I will send.
Who's the big winner?
Whoever the winner is. So let me get that up here next. So I'm going to bring up ye old handy dice roller, and I have to get the list of donors here. So let me get to the charity. Where's my file? There. Oh, I need to download a new file. Haha! Because we broke 4,500. All right, let me get to the Tiltify page here. Come on, hurry up. In the meantime, you want to talk about the ACS stuff, Ranger?
No.
A little bit about all the rewards and stuff we have, and then
I don't really want to do. That's your job, Finn.
Yeah, I know, but I'm getting the list of.
But I talk about everything else, you mongoloid.
All right, Graham, you talk about it.
Oh my God!
Wait, what am I talking about?
I'll talk about it because
ACS
Finn is apparently Finn can't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. So if
no, that's how you choke.
All right. Since Finn is intricately involved in doing a dice roll, he's unable to speak about our charity that we're working on, which is American Cancer Society. We're raising money. The goal is $15,000, and you can see we've raised about a third of that. We got another big stream coming up here in February, where I'm praying that we hit the mark, because I don't want to think about if we don't hit the mark. And we are going to be running in April at Walt Disney World, the charity run. We're doing a half marathon, and we are raising money for the American Cancer Society. It's a great group of people that are fighting the war on cancer, and they do other things like helping people get to their appointments and all kinds of stuff that they do. It's a pretty amazing organization, and so we're trying to raise money. And if you would like to help with us, we have a Tiltify campaign going on. There's lots of funny stuff that you can buy for us to do that you can check out there. If you just want to donate directly, you can just hit the top button and donate, or you can go to our ACS page and donate directly there. I know some people have done that. So there's lots of ways that you can donate toward it, but there are some fun stuff and some giveaways. We are still giving away the lightsaber. We still got some fun things that we're giving away as well that if you'd like to contribute to, that we will be announcing the winner for eventually. So check that out. There, roll the damn dice, Finn. You're fired.
All right. So we're going to roll from 1 to 4,500, but we're going to have to do it in increments. So first thing we're going to roll is the thousands. So we're going to roll from 1 through 5. Oh, I moved it. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to roll from 1 through 5. If it's a 5, it's going to be the first 1,000. If it's a 1, it's going to be from 1,000 to 1,099, 1,999, and so on and so forth. So let's start with the 5 and see what we roll. So we got a 3. So now it's going to be anyone with a number from 3,000 to 3,999. Now we'll roll a 10-sided die to do the same thing. A 10 would mean it's the first 99, or the first 100, so 0 all the way up to 999. Oh, we rolled a 10. So it's between 3,000 and 3,099. Roll it again. See what it is. Okay, so it's now somewhere between 3,090 to 3,099. We have one more. There we go. So the actual winner is number 3,090. And number 3,090 is... where is 3,090? 3,090 is Mr. Walter Arnold.
Hey, congrats, Mr. Walter Arnold.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations, Walter Arnold. You have now won the ACS ball cap that I will send to you.
All right.
Aha. That's science.
We did it. All right, so congratulations, and thank you for your support in our charity, Walter Arnold. We very much appreciate it. Thanks to all our listeners for today. This is the end of our lunch stream, so have a great rest of your day. Make sure you stop what you're doing right now. Hit the thumbs up on the video. Subscribe if you haven't, so you know when we're doing our live streams. We got a lot of live streams planned for this week. And also, if you haven't checked out our Patreon and like to become Patreon supporters so we can keep the content that we're putting out there in TV land, then by golly, go ahead and hit that. So on behalf of myself and the RSG crew, thank you for joining us for our lunch stream. Have a great rest of your day. We will holler at you later. Peace.